time, get up!
Although it's called You're a Bitch in Japan, the international subtitle for WarioWare
Shove up your own ass
games captures the idea far better. Before we get into that though, let's establish why you might want to play WarioWare in the first place. The
ass
itself. There's nothing wrong with having a passionate love for Wario's body, but we have to admit that that's pretty
gay.
What's so fascinating to me about computer games is that most computer games aren't even remotely interesting, but rapidly swap between computer games at an ever-quickening pace and they take on a whole new life. Who knows, maybe this formula is so effective, it even has some merits outside of
sucking dick.
Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. Since this video began, more than 1 million children have died.
That's pretty cool, but
As Cantor showed,
there is no such thing as God. And we are all related. So, technically, incest is perfectly fine. Also, you could fit all the people you've ever disappointed right at home, as long as your home is infinitely large.
basically what I'm trying to say is if you kind of don't like somebody, just call them a nigger.
Wait a minute. What are we doing? Can we really
Just say the N-word.
Of course we can.
But I'm a nice guy.
So I refuse to have a potty mouth. Or am I?
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer.
There's a new way to inflate tires, dragons, sporting equipment, and more. It's called the Air Talk, and it's fucking gay. The Air Talk is extremely extreme. You no longer need to pull out. You no longer need to buy those expensive cans of bread. You no longer need to live. The Air Talk is the most convenient way to fill up your ass. You know how frustrating it is when no one sucks on your flat balls. The Air Talk is no cheap, messy, disposable cock. The Air Talk is a solid, large, bulky cock that you'll use all the time. So don't wait to order. Buy our shit right now. I said now, right now. Don't fucking wait.
Hey Subway. Hey Subway. You're starting to piss me off. When I go to McDonald's, I ask for a Whopper. You know what I get? I get my dick sucked. Yeah. So I started working at a new job doing health insurance. Long story short. And that's why I'm no longer straight. So I'm like, hey, Subway's for that, right? So I drive to Subway in my car. I approach the door. I open the door. I get on the floor. I walk away from the door. Yeah. So I'm in line and I look up at the menu. The woman's like, hey, you're black. On that day, KneeCaps took his own life.
Now this is a story all about how my balls got kicked day after day, and I'd like to take a minute, just stop being gay. I'll tell you how I
entered the secret aquarium in Super Mario 64 without pressing A. Now before you check for wall collisions, I should point out that we did actually do this 3,000 years ago in 2015. When pause exiting a level, Mario's butt conserves this internal bleeding into the castle lobby. But in normal circumstances, Mario's regular speed is copied to his regular speed, which is copied to his sliding speed, which is copied to his cock. However, we compress like every button on the controller for one frame, and then slide into the star door located 100 units under the sand. This means that we get one frame to use the hope we set earlier to flash hypersonic pick into memory, which lets us perform HSP to crash into a parallel universe. However, if we did this right now, we would unavoidably accelerate into a downward spiral. However, there is one last hope. It turns out that because Mario's a fly guy, we can trick the game into thinking that you are too, and we can just grab onto the secret aquarium entrance. Because we're grabbing a ledge that would normally be too high to grab, we call this a glitch.
Now look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer!
I have 4 words for you. I love
Puyo Pop is an addictive little puzzle game based in Harlan Ellison's I Have No Clitoris and I Must Come. Oh dear, oh dear. In Puyo Pop, you organise adorable little moe blobs, or poyos, into groups of 4. So when I got a fever and the only cure was more fever, I was delighted to violently explode. Look at this. It is impossible. Sometimes, after some nebulous criteria has been met, the game enters sicko mode, which is just like Sonic Team in that you don't know what's going on, and then you die.
Die, monster! No, you don't belong. What? You suck.
Thanks to recent advancements in hacking Paper Mario, we finally figured out that taking the shit will crash the game. However, as of recently, it's possible to take the shit and also crash the game. Believe it or not, the game crashes if we eat Bombette's ass. The reason?
Ugandan DJs with micropenises.
So
Clickety-clack down the track!
a lot of times we talk about killing ourselves, but when I learned Retrigger Prologue, that changed since I could always start my line over again. Okay, we made it. We didn't make it. I'll admit, I was never the biggest fan of softlocks because they're not hard, unlike me. I'm gonna go in and go in and go in and go in and go in
and go in and go in and go in and go in. My 3 daughters.
Why?
Here's your op bonus 3
bananas. My system crashed.
Paul, I like to make a silent takedown. The gap gun takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate me. What's that? Sus. What's that? Sus. What's that? Thanks. I would like to see the end of Evangelion.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh.
I'm in the mood to kill my own son.
You have nothing to fear. Give me a candy bar and I'll handle it.
I'll give you the guns.
No. 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 Forget it.
His apartment is down the street.
Pardon me, but... Hey, you're the son of a bitch.
Yeah?
We're 100% black.
Me too. Wait a minute.
I do not move out of the way. Move out of the way.
Why do you have a job? You talking to me? Maybe you should try getting locked in the bathroom. I have some good news for both of you. I just chopped off my weenie.
That's terrible.
Even when making quote-unquote videos like this one, it doesn't hurt to throw in a joke at the end. Or not.